Hey, critics, and welcome back to the Critic Chronicles YouTube channel where you get commentary reviews and tabloid news. I'm your host, Patricia Hartley. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. We are live on this Thursday, April the 30th, 2026. Hey, critics. It's time to chronicle. I missed y'all, and I'm so glad to be back. April's been jam-packed, y'all. It's been a jam-packed month. However, I could not end the month without at least celebrating our YouTube anniversary, if that's a thing. I'm making it a thing, right? Today basically marks year two since our first upload to the channel, and we are currently at 100 subscribers. And in the words of Tabitha Brown, Lord, we thank you. Critic, thank you so much for your support, and please just continue to listen as I continue to give you content. All right, y'all, let's get to the business. All right, up first, y'all, let's talk the New York Times best-selling authors. These are the top 10 highlights of the episode. Now, these are in no particular order at all. All right. Arsenio Hall has a memoir. It's called Arsenio Hall, Misunderstood by Allen Iverson. The voice in my head is God. Two Chains. Through Mom's Eyes, Chanel Jones. She actually recently, of course, released the book and in no time made the New York Times sellers list. Look by Michelle Obama. Okay, okay. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more in the show as well. Truly by Lionel Richie. Simply More by Cynthia Erivo, who is on Broadway. And actually, she also just ran a marathon. Shout out to these marathon running people. Okay. Chanel Jones also ran a marathon before. Maybe it was like a few years ago. And she was able to enjoy that moment actually with her husband, her family as well. Oh, okay. Now I have a side note. Okay, now let me mark where I am on this list because this is really just a personal note, and I think it's just after what happened, and it made me think of it because I was thinking about Chanel Jones, and I'm thinking about like moms and all of the things because Chanel's book Through Mom's Eyes is basically interviews with different moms, and she's asking them, how did you raise a successful, child? What were some of the child rearing things that you did, as well as, asking them about themselves as well. But anyway, to make a long story short that I'm already making long, I don't think when Chanel was promoting her book, basically, her children came on the show. And I think she had made a comment about the fact that, like, I don't think she had them on there before or whatever. But in light of what's going on, or in wake, oh my goodness, of what's going on with, um, goodness, Savannah Guthrie's mom and her being missing. This may be an unpopular opinion. I just don't think I wouldn't put my family on nothing. My mama, my daddy, my dog, my kids, like for real, like no joke, right? I wouldn't just because of, yeah, just because of that. And some people may be like, oh, you scared, you whatever. Yes, especially with it being so close. They still ain't found this lady's mom, So no, I wouldn't put my family on television, but that's neither here nor there. So let me move on. Now I would talk about them, yes, but I just wouldn't put pictures up of them, right? I still would talk about, I wouldn't hide that part, but I just wouldn't put them up. Again, personal. Thank God, I never want to experience nothing like that. It's just with that happening, I don't know why. I just had a little moment, wanted to share it with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Continuing on with the New York Times best-selling Black authors, we have Truly by Lionel Richie, as well as Simply More, Cynthia Erivo. I think this is a little bit of a repeat, so forgive me. Y'all got a little lost in the sauce with that story. Successful Failure by Kev on Stage, also known as Kevin Fredericks by his writing name. That's what's on the book. Master of Me by Kiki Palmer. That actually came out, was it last year? I think it was. Yeah, I think it was last summer. And then Phases by Brandy, which I recently listened to as well. Look by Michelle Obama. I listened to that one. Through Mom's Eyes is still on hold through Libby, as well as The Voice in My Head for Two Chains. Misunderstood is available. I just haven't listened to it. And then Arsenio Hall's memoir book that I have is also still on hold via Libby. But Libby seems to be the platform that kind of has the books a little bit quicker. But yeah. Anyway, and Lil Jon, he also announced that he's gonna be releasing a book. It's gonna be a memoir as well that will detail his rise in music, personal struggles, plus, of course, you remember the recent loss of his son, whom he lost in February 2026. And this information comes from thegrio.com. Now, the book is set to be called I Only Shout So You Can Hear Me. Yeah. But yeah, we looking forward to that, Lil Jon. I think it's, did I say October is when it's supposed to release? I think it's not gonna be released until October. But yeah, anyway, I have an excerpt. Let me read the excerpt real quick. Lil Jon peels back the layers of his larger than life persona for the first time, revealing circumstances that led to the creation of his world famous persona. He recounts his early exposure to music and his rapid rise in the Atlanta music scene, highlighting his pivotal role in shaping the city's distinct hip hop sound. He also opens up about personal struggles that accompanied his fame, including creative burnout and the search for meaning beyond the stage. His rediscovery of his passion for DJing, and he reinvents himself as basically a multifaceted artist and entrepreneur, only to face basically a heartbreak that happened this year that no parent should ever have to endure. Yeah, looking forward to that release as well. As a reminder, most magazines and books that are mentioned today are sourced through Hoopla, Flipster, and or Libby, all free streaming platforms made possible through our local library. Here at the Critic Chronicles, our goal is to provide quality but juicy content from websites, digital magazines, and tabloids, most of which are sourced from our public libraries. Research from the National Library of Medicine show that there are an estimated 17,000 public libraries nationwide, totaling 4 million visits each day. Public libraries are civic organizations that are committed to providing invaluable resources beyond books that are free and open to the public. Get your library card to access thousands of resources today. Now, critics, let's go black on the inside of People Magazine's May 4th issue. On the cover of the magazine, we actually have Anne Hathaway. She's actually promoting her new film, Devil Wears Prada 2. Is set to release on May the 1st. And Shonda Rhimes, she's gracing the cover of Veranda magazine. It's a special issue. I think they call it the Hollywood issue, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, she's on the May-April issue. Now, in the magazine, she talks interior design and the fact that she has a lot of Regency wallpaper, which is like this 19th century British inspired style that, in my opinion, has like that elegant and rich feel. Most of the time, it has kind of like that 3D, I'm rich bitch look. You know what I'm saying? To me, it just goes perfectly with your writing talent and your creative spirit, Miss Rhymes. Okay, let me put some respect on it. Teyana Taylor, she's on page 5, hugging it out with the editor at large and host Janine Rubenstein. Shout out to the Black Girl Magic. I like seeing them together. They looked very nice, very, very nice. And it was good to put a face with the name because I've seen Janine's name all the time in People Magazine, of course, but I don't know if I ever seen a picture until recently. So yeah, shout out to the chocolate. Gabrielle Union and Amanda Seyfried, they're sparkling on page 9 at the Tiffany and Co. launch of its latest collection. Also sending my condolences to Gabrielle Union because she actually recently lost her father. Whoopi Goldberg and Quinta Brunson, they cradled the baby bump of Aubrey Plaza at the special screening of the new animated series called Kevin. I also saw a YouTube interview in which Whoopi, um, I guess she was showing people like somebody around her house. hmm it was basically filled with some very unique pieces. Some, I guess some of them expected, some of them not expected. Just kind of depends on how you see it. Proof is on Broadway, and Don Cheadle as well as Ayo Atterbury was outside the theater making their debut and also promoting the show. I got some updates about Broadway as well. The Obamas have basically invested as well, and they have come on like as a producer. So yeah, I'll give you an update a little bit later on another episode. But yeah, that just kind of came to mind, but I didn't put it in, but I had to, make it a little side note. LL Cool J was captured with Donnie Wahlberg at the CBS Fest. Both men looking good in their season of life. You know what I'm saying? Chris Rock and Eddie Murphy, they joined their daughters Zara as well as Bella at the premiere of the ladies' brand new movie called Roommates, which stars Adam Sandler's daughter as well. Chris Rock was actually recently spotted out with a brand new boo thing. Her name is, I think it's Simone Hinault, if I'm saying the last name right, but it's Simone. Mm-hmm. Who is reportedly a DJ and she's a content strategist. Okay. They was also spotted out in Santa Monica last month. Congratulations, Chris. Congratulations, Eddie. Congratulations to the daughters. Okay. Sounds like that's gonna be a hit. I think it's out on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. Congrats are also in order for Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. Y'all remember they both granddaddies to the same granddaughter. Why am I congratulating the men? They didn't push the baby out. Congrats to Eric Murphy and Jasmine Lawrence, who welcomed their daughter into the world this month. Her name is Ari Sky. That's a pretty name. Hey, that's a pretty name. Ari Sky Murphy. Yeah. Coco Jones, she's been killing it these days. She's also engaged, and we love a love story, especially when everybody's claiming each other equally. hmm She's engaged to Donovan Mitchell, I believe is his name. Side note, don't make no side note right now. Don't just stop. Stop, stop, stop. Have you ever have you ever been telling yourself something on the inside, like don't do it, and then you still just try to move forward with doing it? But Megan, what Klay won't do, baby, another man will. You can bet that, baby. You can bet that. I'm not mad at you for putting him on blast, though. And while I wouldn't have done it like that, I'm glad you did because we are nosy. But many of the ladies who know that game, they believe that he was playing on you, Megan. They believe that he was. Yeah, but I'll move forward. Be on the lookout, y'all, for a brand new series called Funny AF with Kevin Hart. It's basically a reality competition which will award a Netflix comedy series special to one winner. Judges on the show include Chelsea Handler. Oh, Chelsea Handler. I used to actually watch Chelsea lately often. She used to have this late night show, and it was also Lonnie Love was on the show. She also had a best friend who I think she hosts that show, Juicy Scoop. They was real cool at the time. I think they didn't fill out. Are they back friends yet? Y'all tell me. Please tell me. Somebody tell me. Are they back friends again or what? I don't think they are. But they was really good friends. I thought they was a, nice little duo together when they did different stuff. And she used to appear on the show too. Juicy Scoop host. I just do not remember what her name is. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But Chelsea, I like Chelsea. She does quality work. Also, Keegan Michael Key is also one of the judges. Tom Segura, as well as Kamal Nanjiani. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know I butchered that last name, but it's out on Netflix right now. So shout out to Kevin Hart. Kevin always got something going on, don't he? He also embraced a live, love, and laugh moment last month in the tabloid news when he was captured out with his family during a vacation that included his wife, Aniko, his kids, Kenzo, as well as Kaori. Yeah, I also heard about that wax figure that looked more like I saw it and I feel like it looked more like Ice Cube's son than it did Kevin Hart. Kevin was like, y'all cannot possibly think this look like me. Yeah, they was playing with you, Kevin. Get them to redo it. Just let them know. Let them know. Let them know. I wonder how I would feel if I was like the artist who did the sculpture and the person who it was supposed to be a replica of was like, oh, hell no, that ain't me. Maybe they brought out listen, Kevin Hart's, I'm for real. Kevin Hart's wax figure was so bad. It looked like they just brought out the wrong wax figure. Like, not like, oh, we think this is you, Kevin Hart. No, it looked like they just brought out the wrong wax figure. It looked like it was literally the wax figure of Ice Cube's son. And if I was Kevin, I'd have him redo it, and then you can just put that in the back. And whenever Ice Cube's son get ready, you can just pull it out because you already did that. Okay. Moving on to some books, y'all. Moving on to some books. Leave Your Mess at Home by Talani Akinola is highlighted on page 22 as one of the best new books out and is also available via Libby for checkout at my local library anyway. Also, let me just say that side note. Listen, in most states, I don't know if you know this, but you typically can go to any library in your state, no matter the county and all the things or your parish. Okay. And then you can actually get different library cards in different cities to see what and utilize all the resources. Of course, the same rules apply. You'll get fees if all of the things, but for the most part, I mean, if you're just accessing the digital resources, all you basically need is a like an email address. That's typically what they use to log in, or of course, you need your library number. But it just kind of depends on what the resource is, how you can access that particular, you know, service or app. And all of the things. But yeah, check your local library, check in with your librarian. But yeah, you can typically get several library cards from different cities. You just got to be from, typically, you just have either a license or an ID from that particular state. But different states probably have different rules. So just be sure to double check before you take my word for it. Okay. Okay. Y'all, 60 is basically the brand new Sexy on page 37 with some of the hottest talent in Hollywood, including, of course, Halle Berry, Selma Hayek, as well as Janet Jackson. Teyana Taylor actually is paying homage to Janet on page 45, and she told Janine that she's snuck to watch Janet's 1999 Velvet Rope tour when she was 9 years old. She also recreated Janet's look from the Janet World Tour. She said she did that particular look because it just felt unexpected. Plus, she said she don't play by Janet, baby. She don't play by Janet. Now, I heard that Janet was not in the movie. I have not yet seen the Michael movie, but baby, the support for the Michael movie was out of this world. In spite of what some of the I kind of heard half and half in terms of like the critiques of everything. And that's basically because I was reading like a lot of the tabloids. They really was, just talking about how maybe Janet didn't like the movie, for example. So they was putting out a lot of bad press, in a lot of people's opinion about the movie. But in spite of the fact that a lot of folks was trying to say certain things about the movie, which there's everybody has its critique, right? We're all critics. That's why I call it the Critic Chronicles. But yeah, it just seems like there's been a lot of support for the movie, and actually, it is the biggest what biopic to ever open in a weekend to make this much money, like ever in history. Like so, it has set a record. As Michael Jackson do, right? Period. And of course, his streams have basically skyrocketed. Y'all, I'm so guilty. I used to have this Michael Jackson glove, right? Even if I wanted to forget that I had the Michael Jackson glove, my auntie always remind me, girl, you remember that Michael Jackson glove you had as a little girl? And every time we would go to the movie store, um we call it the video store. Every time we went to like the movie, the video zone or whatever it was called where you was from, at the time, like a Blockbuster or maybe your Blockbuster equivalent if you're in a small town, right? I would always get the Michael Jackson Moonwalker movie. Yeah. And there's a huge spread on page 70 that talks about the making of the King of Pop, for those who just can't stop till you get enough. First Lady Michelle Obama is highlighted on page 40, as she has been, of course, making her rounds promoting her book, The Look, which is also, of course, a New York Times bestseller. I talked about it a little bit earlier in the episode. Yeah, to me, I always wanted to know a little bit more about the looks. I wanted her. I already told y'all about this. The only thing she didn't do that I wanted her to do was like, this sound like Michelle with the braids. Just, braid it up. But while you was in the White House, I did. I wanted her to make a statement. That's me. But that's why I'm not the first nothing. Oh no, I'm the first child. Shout out to the first children. I heard about them oldest children, them oldest daughters, specifically the eldest daughter, right? I got a little book that we're gonna highlight here in a few. Anyway, talking about the eldest daughter. Yeah, 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 yeah. But anyway, back to the book, The Look. Michelle Obama basically talks about um all the looks that she had in the White House and spills the inside scoop of not only her, but also the people that made it happen. So if you listen to the audiobook, it's not just Michelle reading it. She also has like, the stylist kind of step in and talk about her part and give that component, I guess, of the book. So it's pretty, when you listen to the audiobook, you get kind of a different experience. But if you get the actual book itself, the physical copy, you can see all of the different looks that she had. And it's in my opinion, it's really a coffee table book as well. Like it really can be one of those, but it's really an experience. Yeah, to just kind of like recap during on that time because I thought that was I enjoyed that time. I had a lot of good things going on, a lot of good things going on. Okay. Lizzo is highlighted on page 47 with her dog, Anastasia, or is it Anastasia? I always be want to put a tilde on stuff. You know what I'm saying? She is in the beauties and their B section where they are highlighting the fur babies and Hollywood's hottest, including hot girl Meg the Stallion, who's captured with her pet foe and Tyga, whom she rescued back in March. As many of you have already heard, Meg is going through it, with a breakup with a professional basketball player, Klay Thompson, who she outed as not wanting to be in a monogamous relationship. And while many people were kind of surprised and shocked, you know how folks do. They be doing a little talk, little pillow talk. Oh yeah, I just want you the one I could, settle down, and then all of a sudden they get caught and, everything changed. But either way, a lot of people have shared some advice. I'm sure you've heard enough of it. All I can say is just keep it moving. keep taking pictures with Victoria Monet, doing what you need to do, but also getting involved into something that you've wanted to do in terms of creativity, whether that's getting back into the studio, because I'm all about like turning, your pain into power. Some people will say, like turn it into cash, all of the things, but I know that it's empowering to sometimes get some of those things out when you've gone through stuff. Yeah. You know what? That's gonna be it for this particular episode, y'all. I want to actually upload this on the 30th, so I will be back sooner rather than later. I won't be as long. May is not as demanding in terms of the calendar as of now, so I should be able to be a little bit more consistent. So forgive me, but thank you so much for your patience. For access, y'all, to the full YouTube episode of our show, please be sure to browse the channel. And also be sure to subscribe to our backup channel, Hey Critics, also linked in the show notes. Thanks again, y'all, for tuning in to the Critic Chronicles YouTube channel, where you get commentary reviews and tabloid news. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload.